I can't see you and you're barking, so I know you're here.
Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It's Wednesday, December 28th. I'm Ryan Miller. He's tired of me forgetting to think about this beforehand. Matt Amberg.
The bit doesn't get any better.
You deserve better.
I don't.
The viewers deserve better.
The viewers do.
Faithfully viewing audio mediums, and this is what we give them.
Favams, faithfully viewing audio mediums, favams. I don't know.
You're just gonna.
We're acronyming everything now.
Yeah, you're just gonna acronym everything. Don't do. It's so hard to do.
It's really difficult.
Do you ever try to check acronyms sometimes when somebody says it, and then you go through the words like trying to do it? It takes like 30 minutes. You're like, no, I guess that's right.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially when you have ones like no, that's a hard one because there's two words. It could be a lot of words. I don't know what an acronym is.
Acronyms. How do they work?
Knives at nighttime.
And then sometimes they'll do like the acronym that has like the first letter of one, but then they'll use like one letter that comes after, and they're like, no, it makes a word. You're like, no,
because
you can't do that.
Because then you have like the words like of or the, and you have articles in there. It's like that's not part of the. If you're
doesn't work
if you're gonna
either,
use the word and, you need to have an A in there.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, how was Christmas?
Christmas happened. It was good. What about you? What'd you do? Do you have one?
No, that was what? I'm not. Yes.
All right. Cool.
We celebrate Boxing Day.
Nice. Did you watch Creed today or?
That's a good movie. That's an all right movie.
I know.
We talked about that.
Yeah. Did you watch Rocky 4?
That's an all right movie too. Every Rocky's fine. I don't care what you say.
Rocky 5 is probably the one where I'm like, that's probably not great, but
no, it's not good.
No. But as far as Christmas went,
it's great.
We skipped the opening presents and went right to Boxing Day, so we threw everything out. We're very wasteful people.
Yeah, we put all our presents into a box and then put those in the garbage.
Yeah,
is that not how you do Boxing Day? I don't
know. We set it on fire. We want to make sure nobody gets our gifts. It's like it's more for us. It's the symbol of like, here's what I got you. You can go get it on your own, but here's what I would have gotten you. And I did buy it, but now we're gonna burn it and destroy it so nobody gets to enjoy it. Yeah.
Maybe Adam, if you could write in.
Yeah.
Explain Boxing Day.
Explain
to
Canada to us over the holidays.
Canada, what now?
Like there's an exchange rate now with Christmas. I think. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. What did we do at Christmas? We woke up and we did Christmas gifts, and I got some cool stuff.
Did you get? That was.
Oh,
what did you get?
That's
all I wanted. What did you get?
Yes.
Just what did you?
Oh man, what
receive?
Did I get? I got a. My wife got me an awesome. I've been wanting a really nice bathrobe for a long time. So she got me this really nice big terry cloth bathrobe that has a hood on it and it's nice and white, so I can walk around in a white hooded robe. Wait a minute. I think my wife. She did. She totally got me.
It's really billowy too. I bet. Like you could put eye holes in that thing.
I have expected like the next gift to be like the red silk, so I could become a grand dragon and like on my own free time or whatever. I'm like, honey, I'm a Jew, right? This doesn't work.
What if the grand dragon and or wizard?
Or wizard, I guess grand wizard, huh?
Whichever.
I don't know.
Honestly, they both are just magnificent titles. No, they're not. They're stupid.
They are.
Are they? I don't know. It was just a terry cloth thing, though. Would he then be like more kind of socially acceptable? Like to be like, hey, the racism, you're a horrible human being. But your robe, but man, that thing looks comfortable.
It looks comfy.
Unassuming.
No, see, this goes back to name a situation where you've got a very clear delineation between good and bad, right? So you got like the KKK. They're bad. There's a clear delineation there. If you don't think they're bad, then you're bad. That's how that goes.
It's easy. It's an easy one.
But let's take it a step further, okay? Let's go with something a little more difficult, like the Nazis. Also terrible people. If you
Okay.
if you sport, but the one thing the Nazis had going for them, that was the one thing they had that was like good, was they had amazing clothing. Like you can argue all
Very
you want.
well dressed.
But
Very well
the
dressed.
bad guys are always very well dressed, and the bad guys, especially in Nazi Germany, hilariously enough, Hugo Boss was the maker of their uniforms. So
Was that the SS, wasn't it, or the whole shebang?
I think it was quite a few different sections. I think the Wehrmacht was part of it, the SS. I don't remember, but my point is, the Empire is still better looking in every respect than the rebels. And that goes for every type of bad guy versus good guy. The good guys never look cool. They don't.
Fair. Well, that's how you can tell they're bad guys, because they care about fashion.
Yeah, well, it matters. They're like, if I'm going to oppress
You're
a people,
evil.
I want to look good oppressing them.
Dress to oppress.
Dressed, and that was Hugo Boss's original tagline.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
0 hit points.
I can keep going.
I like it. Yeah.
That one is not going on the site.
No, so
I will not.
So moving on from oppression, the terry cloth robe
Probably.
oppressed the dampness that I had been gathering.
Okay. Terry cloth robe. What else?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, fair. You don't go up from there, so why? Yeah, she found that, and she was like, you know what? You don't buy anything else. Everything else before it looks horrible. Everything else after it looks. Just put it in a box and light it on fire again.
That's exactly correct. Beth actually got me a humidifier with some a thing of essential oils, so because I like when things are scented. I like the smell of lavender.
It's getting more inappropriate as we go on.
So so you can maybe see now. So she got me a vaporizer that has essential oils for the house. Also, because we live in a very dry climate, so it's nice to get a little moisture in the air. But the bathrobe. Mm-hmm. She got me a whole bunch of stuff to do spa stuff, because we have a really nice
painting a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Think about me in a spa surrounded by imps and just fire and in a vomitorium, and that's what she was aiming for, I think.
You're wearing the robe still, though, right?
I'm not wearing anything underneath it. She also got me. Okay. I've been wanting them ever since I was a kid, and I'd seen Real Genius. I have always wanted fuzzy pink bunny slippers, and she found a pair that are awesome, and I've been.
Are those like from the Real Genius store? They look pretty perfect.
No.
Those aren't the exact.
They're not the exact. No, the exact ones are quite a bit different, but these ones are representative. And I like it. And I got I was gifted a bunch of Funkos, which was kind of novel.
I got please. Which ones?
I got Rick and Morty, and I got nice. Reaper, and I got the giant Winston. Pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah, that was pretty much my Christmas, I think, for the most part.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good. What about you? What was your haul?
I got a wok.
I had a lot of Chinese food the last few days. Actually, we had Chinese food for Christmas dinner.
Well, then you win.
And
tell you what, I'll send you some
pho last night.
Stir fry. Yeah, I tell everybody not to get me Christmas or birthday presents, because I'm the guy that's just buying those year round anyways.
Right.
And very cheap with my money besides that. So it's a lose-lose. Don't do it.
Too bad. I can't wait for you to get your gifts, man. They are so funny. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Should we do a live unboxing?
You can, but you can't tell anybody what they are.
That's how we do it.
It's true. I did. So I did the unboxing. That was so that actually I did tell Beth the whole story about getting the records, and then the record, the Sonic Youth record that I got, that was Goo. She very much so resembles the drawing on the cover of that record, and people have told her that for years. And she likes Sonic Youth, so I wanted to get that record, and that was the record that I did not get in my package of records, and that they had replaced it with Bing Crosby.
So good.
So
Real good.
the funny part about
Did you still give that to her?
I did give her the Bing Crosby the record. I got the Goo record a few days later. So
they still sent it.
Yeah, it came in.
You didn't have to send back Bing?
No, they did send me the thing, but I'm actually purchasing the record anyways because, and I forgot this, Beth, when she was a kid, had a huge crush on Bing Crosby. And she was like, oh, and also it's a Christmas record, so we should totally have this in the house. Okay.
It's a good album, man. Yeah, Bing's. If you got Christmas music, you got Bing music.
I got Bing music, and that's what I do. I like to look at my record player now, and I go, Bing music.
Yeah, Bing. Yeah.
Bing,
and then it just like a ton of ads just flood your house from all avenues. Yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't even get any like Microsoft points or anything out of it either, which is such a rip.
Is it?
So you got to walk.
Hey, Christmas. Oh, crap. We went too far. We're supposed to do this at the top of the show. Like one of these. It's real. Okay, calm it down. Bring it down.
You could re-edit it.
That's not going to happen. We're going to talk a little bit about Rogue One because you finally saw it.
I did.
I saw it the week before.
And today being what it is, just how freaking bittersweet was that?
Wow, man. Yeah, so Carrie Fisher passed away, and it's like I'm reluctant to talk about celebrities. We end up doing it often because we can admire being students, fans of film, all that, performances and whatnot. But when it gets down to celebrity, I grew up in a house with People magazine and stuff like that, which gives me a healthy dislike for the whole idea of celebrity. Like it
sure.
Anyways, so I'm reluctant oftentimes to speak about, their deaths or their lives in a way that
is more
reveres them.
Yeah, there's
something
it's more
like
reverential and more adoration than appreciation.
They're people, and still, they are people that have made a difference in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. And Carrie Fisher is one of those freaking people, man. For someone who grew up in that town, in Hollywood, and oftentimes seemed like she was chewed up and spit out by it. Look at her life.
Repeatedly, right? Like it was never just like a one thing. It was her as a teenager, her in her 20s, her in her 30s, She wrote about it. Postcards from the Edge was about that. That's
a fantastic freaking film.
Amazing film, amazing book. She's her one person I don't want to say stand up, but her talks where she had one person shows, and right. she became an open book.
So that's part of the reason I mentioned that is for someone who grew up in that
mm-hmm.
and seemed to completely conquer it. Like, I'm hard pressed to think about another person that's done something like that.
I think that the one person that does come to mind that I see a little bit of a thing there is Drew Barrymore.
Sure,
but she also I think that Drew Barrymore grew up. It was a different time.
Drew Barrymore's more of
different time.
And it maybe yes, and also like her reaction to it very different, and she's a very different person too.
Totally,
like,
yeah.
Carrie Fisher, like when I say conquer, I mean conquer. Like she came out on top. She made that town her own in so many different ways. Like for that reason, I think Carrie Fisher is definitely somebody special. Like somebody, it matters. She will be missed. Like the most important thing you can say, I think, in something like this is just thank you, because of what she did. Like it made a difference. Like it's not
one of the things that she did and she's been doing and she had done up until obviously till the end was she came out repeatedly and stated that she's mentally ill and she's okay with that. She accepts that and
bipolar,
and it shouldn't be a stigma and it shouldn't be a thing and people need to understand that. And she did do a lot of great things for people that don't have a voice or people that have needed a voice and she's been there. And on top of that, as banal as it sounds for so many of us, she was a princess. She was a massive part of our childhood, and
she was royalty.
She was, and she goes from being a princess to a general, and becomes this amazing character. And she was just a fantastic actor, good person.
even in the original trilogy, man, like she was like the moment that always springs to mind is when she grabs that gun in her bikini, for lack of a better word. Like that's she's come out repeatedly about that as well. You know, the whole she's like, remember Leia was a slave when she had that thing on.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
But when she grabs that gun on Jabba's skiff, this is maybe the stupidest thing. I don't know. It just encapsulates everything right then and there, right? Like she's conquered that. She conquers.
She knows she's a slave. She takes control of the situation when she can, and then she takes control of the situation when she can.
And then she just did that for the rest of her life.
Yeah, pretty much.
So will be missed. Absolutely.
She will be missed. I don't know.
That's freaking and why? What other way to end 2016? Really?
No, yeah, exactly.
Man.
So
let's talk about the movie that she's not in.
Well, not in. For the
okay, you're right. Yeah, she's
right,
in. So she is the Force.
We're gonna be okay. Look,
in and throughout.
We're gonna go ahead and say this right in front. Spoiler territory. We're gonna talk about everything about it. So
do we have to spoil it?
There's no. Well, yeah, they get the Death Star plans.
Let's maybe just the way it ends. Can we? Because you're right. It's a known.
Yeah, I can't get around that. Because the whole that's the whole discussion. Is this entire Rogue One is the Dirty Dozen. It's the Wild Bunch. It's the Great Escape. You go back, you watch any of those movies, the same thing happens to every single character.
Okay. If you the question mark you might have about the ending of Rogue One, we're going to talk about. So
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Look, the thing with this movie is it's a heist film, and it's a heist film in the style of the 60s and 70s. There is no good ending here. Like there's you have the you from a point of view, like if you want everybody to be alive, a happy ending maybe. There's no happy ending. There is no good ending for the characters you become attached to in these types of films. These types of films are built upon the idea of giving you really great characters that you want to know everything about, that you want to see more of, but you can't. You're just not. And they did that here. Man, there were multiple characters that were great. It was a solid flick. Definitely, no question in my mind, definitely better than Episode 7. Like, leaps and bounds to me.
I did not know until this moment if you liked it yet or not.
Yes. Definitely better than Episode 7. And I liked Episode 7 a great deal. Like,
sure, yeah, liked it fine, but you're absolutely right. Better than Episode 7. But and the ending, like when I say, you know,
the last
I skirt
30
around
minutes.
saying there's no good ending because I think it's a fantastic ending.
It's incredible.
I loved it. I love that it's one of the top things I love about it is that it is that one-off.
That
like there's not going to be any Rogue One 2.
There is,
which is
bar none, the best sequence in any Star Wars film in regards to an actual battle was Rogue One. Man, that
at the end,
the Scarif, everything on Scarif. Just like, and so the movie is very clearly split into, like, you have the 3-act narrative structure, and it is like very clear.
Sure.
That third act, that finale, holy crap. What a way to bring all of that stuff together to you know, especially going into the movie knowing we know they're going to get the plans. You know they do.
Right.
That's not the question.
How do you make that still interesting? Yeah.
That's the question. I mean,
they freaking did it. They did it.
There are no questions to me. There are some problems with the movie. It is definitely not for sure perfect.
I'm sure we'll get to those right now.
One of my bigger issues was the pacing, actually, of the film. Pacing
really
not great to me.
Okay, so you might be with my buddy who wasn't into the first half, like action-wise, basically, or
no, first half story-wise, fine. Like all that was great. It was just really poorly put together. Where the first 20 minutes of the movie, you go to like 5 different planets for a minute each. Like you bam, 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 bam. You are just thrown into different planets, and then the planets stop being important. Like they're not necessary, and you get focused down on like 2. But that whole bit where they're going planet to planet to planet to introduce characters, that was a little rough. There are definitely some edits with the character introductions. And you know that, again, when you have a movie like this, like The Dirty Dozen, like The Wild Bunch, where you have a group of characters, not everybody's going to get a really great long introduction. Not everybody's going to get the introduction you kind of want them to have. and I felt some of the edits that were there, and especially when she meets up with Sharut and Baze, there's some chunks there that I can kind of feel like they're on the editing floor that would have made it a little more of a solid narrative, a solid pacing within that narrative.
So what I saw that as, and I can't remember if this is one, I've said this before, I can't remember if I said it last week on the show or not. What I liked about that was that it didn't come out as super in your face. Like, here, we're going to get these guys, and then they're part of the crew. We're going to get these guys, and then they're part of the crew.
Yes.
Like, that was interwoven in such a way that didn't happen. Like, at no point did you know, they end up on the ship, and then, you know, somebody said, well, welcome to the crew or something. Like, no, it was just like they picked up people along the way. They're there because it's their cause now. Like, they organically came into it. Even if they're all riding on the same ship now, like, in a way that was understated, and so I liked it. You know, it wasn't overdone.
And it's not how they're introduced that bothers me. It's there are edits in the dialogue that make it more stilted, and I think drop some probably good dialogue that may be building just enough to give me a little more. Again, I'm not.
We're splitting hairs, sure, at this point, but
totally,
I get what you're saying.
It totally is. It's a really minute thing. One of the other things...
taste hairs, too. It's the worst kind of hairs.
They're like always like right there, like in the back of your... You can't get them out of your throat.
You're like, I like this thing. It's horrible.
It tastes like
Ben
Mendelsohn.
We have different tastes.
Ben Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn, I agree with what you said to me. You could tell he was neutered as a character. I don't know how you fix that. Krennic.
Ben Mendelsohn.
He was Krennic. I don't know how you fix that. He was great.
Did I say he was neutered?
Yes. I liked him a lot as a character. I think he's a really...
I don't know if that was me.
Neutered? I'm pretty sure.
What I probably meant was that I'm I think the two spots where he fell flat were, number one, when he meets Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I did say neutered, because he's very much played under Tarkin, and I would have loved if do we talk about the freaking elephant at this point? Tarkin's completely CGI. At the end, Leia is also on there for a bit, also CGI. Bar none, the worst part of the movie.
By far, Leia was. Tarkin.
Leia looked worse for sure.
Tarkin had. There was one shot where I looked at it and I was like, that's really good. But most of them
couldn't tell.
Most of them with Tarkin, there were.
You know, there's no not knowing.
It's the Uncanny Valley thing. Yeah, it's
a great animation, like super fine, whatever.
If the whole movie looked like
tell.
If the whole movie was that, totally one thing. Like, fine, make Star Wars all animated.
I guess.
I don't want that, but if you're gonna do it, you know.
You lose the grit there, though, which I feel like Rogue One had that in spades. It's a bummer because, number one, the CGI is not good enough. As amazing as it is, you're right, Uncanny Valley, whatever. Number two, I think it neuters Krennic because he's always reporting to Tarkin, and Tarkin's his boss, and it paints Krennic as a come-upper, you know, like a dude who's looking to please and take over. It's a completely fascist thing. Like this is, you know, it's taking Nazism to the next level. Like it was complete chaos among the upper ranks of the Nazis at one point. Complete chaos might be an overstatement, but they very much were encouraged to make their own way. And Krennic is that guy. Like he's Goebbels, you know, he's trying to do his own thing, and
we're getting awfully German nationalist on this program today. Let's stay away from let's go. You know what?
It sucks in the confines of a movie because then I feel like he's neutered, and then he meets Darth Vader for kind of like what reason I almost don't know, and that interaction I think is the weakest of all his scenes. You know?
So I the Vader thing is interesting to me, and so the neutered thing for me comes from. I think it's more a case of just timing and how much story they can tell, because I think he could have been a really, really good awful character, like a really good bad guy, and the thing with Vader in particular, like what I got out of that was Tarkin and Vader were always supposed to be peers in my eyes anyways, with Vader clearly being the, he's the Emperor's right hand on some level, but Tarkin he's the Empire. He is the face of the Empire for that moment, right?
There are plenty of scenes where he faces off against Vader. Like Vader wasn't the end all for the Death Star. If you look back at the I guess episode 4,
right now, and so what they're doing here is that what they're saying is that the Death Star wasn't really even Tarkin's, it was Krennic's, and Tarkin was doing what great leaders do, taking the accolades for something he didn't do. He's going to be the one that says, my thing, I did it. But the thing with Krennic, what my assumption with Krennic was, and it's the giveaway at the last line where they have the conversation and Krennic goes and he's just being a baby. He's trying to figure out a way to get around Tarkin and hoping that Vader will see the idea of the Death Star as being so great, and that him being the guy that was so smart to build it, that he would go around Tarkin and let the Emperor know this guy did it, not Tarkin. But that's not how it goes. And then, of course, that's the whole the zinger that Vader gives him and all that. But
and it's that whole, all those inner workings, like complications right there is.
But you have to jump for
great either.
I am putting 2 and 2 together based on a lot of information there that I am extrapolating. That's not
the dynamic.
There.
No, you're right. That's the dynamic. But yeah, that's part of the like, just make Krennic the dude. Like, I don't know, like, take Tarkin out. And it would have been better.
Tarkin, and this was one of those things where
it's a freaking moon-sized space station. Put him on the other half of the space station or something.
I understand why Tarkin's
make
involved.
him another Moff. Like he's at odds with Tarkin or something.
I understand why Tarkin is there, and I agree with the writers that he's in this particular story. Tarkin does need to be there. Does he need to be there as a CGI character? Does he need to be there as much as he was? No. He probably could have been just as well off being a hologram. Just
there you go. Yeah, sure.
Simple as that.
You're a smart man. We did it again. We solved another movie.
I know. You know what? Star Wars
it's
people.
Why you come to
get a hold of us. The biggest letdown in that movie by far for me was definitely Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, it sounds like you weren't as into him. He's always a strange actor no matter what, so I'm not sure.
It's not.
Maybe I just give him too much leeway.
I like Forrest Whitaker. I like him a lot. I don't like him here. And I totally admit a good chunk of it is that ridiculous, stupid voice he puts on. I just hated it. It was just bad. But standouts were...
It didn't need to be there either. Like, he's a great character because he's a total wild card, like for like 7 different reasons. He's a wild card within the structure of the narrative, but also as a character. Like, the voice kind of plays into that because you're like, what is he doing? Like, you don't know mentally if he's even all there. But then he does kind of... I liked him, and like maybe I give him more leeway as an actor, but yeah, I feel like...
overall, I like the movie a lot. Felicity Jones was great. Diego Luna was great. Absolutely.
Alan Tudyk
was, he was good.
It was great.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna lie. I think he's a good character and stuff. I was not as enthralled with that character, with the robot.
The robot. Really? All right. Okay.
I don't know if it was too on the nose with the
he's all of the comic relief just about.
And I don't know if that's too much on the nose for me with that, like, because that was also something that I didn't like in episode 7 either, was some of the comic relief stuff there. But yeah, the highlight, of course, of the movie for me. And
you just hate comedy. We hate comedy. I mean, that should be painfully
That's why we do
obvious
this
to anybody
show
at this point. Yeah.
I knew this going into it, and it turned out to be the case, was Donnie Yen, man. That character, so angry that we never got a character, that we're just getting that type of character now, and we're not going to get any more of that character. Like, that's like the biggest kick in the nuts for this movie.
It is. Like, I mean, I love the ending. sure, like that's it is and it isn't. You know, it's the better to have loved and lost thing. You know, like it's.
Yeah.
I get sure like another movie with that character. We would love to see more of that character.
I don't want
but
it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like I wouldn't trade Rogue One 2 for more of Donnie Yen.
No.
At all.
And
you know, like
I don't want a short. I don't want comic books. I don't want any of that. I just want that Shrewd character and Baze to have been. That's what
So
we got.
good.
And one of the things that I did think was very cool was something that's never been brought up in the movies before. Was Diego Luna's character Cassian. He mentions that they are protectors of the Wills. The Wills was what Star Wars, the script, was originally called. It was called like the Diary of the Wills or the Journey of the Wills. And then it was like the first part was the story of Luke Skywalker. And the Wills, so the Wills were something George Lucas had thought about decades ago. Like it was a thing.
So they were probably pretty good then.
They were all right.
Midichlorians were in the original script.
Yeah.
I mean,
actually, they were not. Poop. So
why they were taken out?
Rogue One. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And Vader. It was cool to see Vader for a minute.
Yeah, no, but with the exception of that scene with him and Krennic, like Vader, like the part at the end,
and that's
where
what I'm
they're
talking about.
building into Episode 4,
where
super cool.
When
yeah.
Vader does the Vader thing we have never seen Vader like that, and that was amazing.
It was cool. Yeah, for sure. So honestly, if you're listening to this and you're on the fence about Rogue One, I know there's lots of crap out there about it doesn't start with a crawl. You know,
which
like there's some people out there who says it's not Star Wars enough. It's a departure and it's great for it. Like don't listen to any of those people. Go see it.
There is no point in this film where I never felt it was detached in any way from Star Wars.
It's a departure.
No. I know. What I'm saying is that for anybody who has said that, like that's garbage.
Yeah.
That's bull. It's a Star Wars movie.
Just go see it. And it's good.
It is good.
Says 0 hit points. Man, let's this is gonna be a short show.
Hope so.
Look what you did. Let's shorten it up by talking about the games that we played.
All right, that's a good idea. I played some betas this week. I played the Friday the 13th beta, which was very novel. It's very early. Could tell that. Lots of weird little buggy things. The game played okay. It definitely gets the that kind of the feel of a Friday the 13th movie for the most part. It's early beta. You know, I'm hesitant to critique it too hard because of that. I can say that a few of the things that stood out to me, which I don't know if this is indicative of Dead by Daylight as well, but the whole game is pretty much based around the E button. So you're gonna press E a whole lot, or one button, because that's what you're gonna do to open doors, open windows, climb out windows, open chests, open drawers, all that stuff. Close doors, close windows, lay down traps. Like everything is the E button. Friday the 13th.
So, is it hard to see through the bugs at this point? You can...
No,
can you give a critique of the game? Like, if there were no bugs and this was the final product, is that what you're trying to stay away from? Or
if you take the bugs out and this is the final product, this is not a good product. That's like the animations are still pretty janky. Some of the movement's pretty janky.
Well, yeah, no. Take all that. Take all the alpha, beta stuff out of it.
If this game is smoothed over and movement works like as it should, as like in my head, and it's smooth, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Like the gameplay mechanics, we're talking. You know,
those definitely.
How are the bones looking?
See, it's really hard to kind of describe that, because right now Jason is he's so powerful, and he's got to be powerful. He's Jason, right?
Right.
The counselors, this is a game that instead of being based around fighting, it's totally around stealth. It's very difficult where you have one character out of all the camp counselors that pretty much everybody is going to pick, because while they all have different stats, only one of them can like run for a really long time. And if Jason's chasing you, you have to be able to run.
Gotcha.
When I got to play as Jason, I'd never played a game like this before, and it's a beta.
This is all online?
Yes. So
Okay.
I got 6 of 7 of the counselors. I probably could have done it. I probably could have gotten 7 out of 7 if I had used all my powers and played a little more intelligently. But what I found...
But on your first play,
you
got 6
first
out
play
of
6 of 7, but it wasn't like... And it's timed, so every round is timed like 20 minutes. But I ended up with at least 2 of them. One of them is the one character that I couldn't catch. Like, I kept trying to catch her and she could run and kept running. And so I needed to teleport and I had to do some maneuvers, which was fine. That was great. But once I caught her, like she was able to wriggle out of my capture at one point. I had to keep chasing her. And so that was cool. Like, that was fun to chase that one character. But then there was another character that I ended up having to chase, and she just kept running around a car and basically playing Ring Around the Rosie. And I couldn't do anything. So I ended up having to use one of my powers, and I teleported behind her essentially, but waiting for those cooldowns and on top of that, teleporting out of the thing and capturing and grabbing them really fast. That was not like, that button combination wasn't very smooth. It wasn't really tight. So plenty of times where I'd teleport right next to somebody, should be able to hit a button and grab them. Nope. Wouldn't do it. And then they were able to move a little bit, run away, and I'd have to chop them with an axe or what have you. It's definitely got some... It's got potential. It's got a lot of potential. I can see
You're still on board.
I am still on board. I'm not dumping this yet. It needs work. I'm going to be in on this. We're going to play it. It's going to be a thing.
Do we have a date? Like, how much time do they have?
They have not given a date. It's sometime this year. It'll be probably
in 2016.
First half of 2016.
They don't have enough time.
First half of 2016. That's what I said, and I am sticking to it.
It's already out.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
I also played the Gwent beta. I got into the Gwent beta, which for anybody who doesn't know, Gwent is a card game that was in The Witcher 3, a game I had not played previously. But I signed up for it because collectible card games and trying things. This, easily one of the most fun games of this nature that I've played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually really enjoyable. Super easy to get into. It's not as complex as like Hearthstone. And it was fun. I had a good time. I played online against players a bunch of times. And yeah, I got stomped a bunch of times. I won a couple of matches. It's fun. Simple game. They've done a good job of making the game clear. I'm looking forward to seeing how the cards kind of stretch out and how the decks roll out, because it's definitely somewhat limited here. I'm at least guessing. I haven't dug too deep into it, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And since I started playing it, I decided, okay, you know what? It's been long enough. I'm at the end of the year. It's on people's game of the year list. Let's freaking play
from 2015.
The Witcher 3. Well, one of the DLCs from this year is on game of the year thing, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
It says Wild Hunt right here.
Yes, because that's what I'm playing. I'm not playing the DLC. I'm playing The Wild Hunt. The Witcher 3.
Is that the subtitle of the actual game?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
It's great so far. It's I definitely had that moment of, why did I not pick this up earlier?
You did pick it up earlier.
Oh, why did I not actually play it? It's cool. It's the adult version of Fable. So it's clearly not as goofy.
Right. There's not as much farting as what The Witcher is. It's not just a fart hunter.
Well, I don't know. I haven't
Wild
gotten
farts.
that far. There could be.
Okay. How many hours into it are you? How many
Probably
minutes?
3, 4, maybe.
Okay.
Not too far. Out
of 500, from what I understand.
Yeah, so. Right. Yeah. Out of for the rest of my life, which coincidentally was about 500 hours. That's all I got left.
Okay, fair.
It's solid though. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely got a learning curve to it with the combat, but yeah, I'm digging it. I've done a couple of quests. I've had a couple of interesting run-ins. I'm curious if the experience, if as I play, if I'll figure out a way to boost my experience a little faster, because it goes very slowly. At least it did for the first level. I would have assumed by now I'd be level 5 or something, and I'm not. I'm still
I know
level
there's
2.
one of the DLC packs out there you can buy, and it comes with a booster. Like you can just level right up to what the level you need to be at for the DLC. So.
Oh, I should do that right at the beginning of the game.
That might speed things up.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's this is one of those games where I would say to you, yeah, you should play it. On the same token, you probably shouldn't.
I just feel like I will never have the time.
I don't know that this is a game I can imagine you getting into, and like you get the first couple of hours and being like,
oh,
man,
sure,
this is super great, and then going, I don't know if I can handle like you'd want to play it for the next 500 hours, but you just wouldn't, because then you'd miss out on every other game that comes out for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's accurate. It's where I've been at. It's good. I'll live through you. Hey, can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah, you try to be as vicarious as you can.
I am.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
So it's Christmas time. People are in town. I played not video games for a little bit. Have you ever heard of a game called Codenames?
It sounds familiar, but I don't. I'm going to say no.
You lay out a 5x5 square full of just random nouns, and you have two people that are the code masters. I don't know if that's what they're actually called.
Code breakers?
They've have Nicolas Cage. And it has a pattern. Some have red squares, some have blue squares, depending on what team you're on. Or the ones you're trying to get people to guess. And then there's an assassin, where if you pick that, you're dead. And these correspond to the board that has been laid out. So basically, you give 2-word clues, which are 1 word and a number. So if there's 2 words on the board that say like pepperoni and sausage, then I would say pizza 2. As long as nothing else on the board corresponded to that. Otherwise, I run the risk of them choosing the wrong one there. But basically, it turns into this thing where it's one of those games that successfully lifts the game like into the air around the table. Like you're basically just talking the whole time.
Right.
One person says like one thing, and then it's 15. It's not 15 minutes, but I think you can even do a timer if you want. But it's 5 minutes of you talking with the rest of your teammates. Like, what does he mean by this? Like he didn't say Domino's 2, he said pizza 2, so he means something specific, like why did he use this name instead of this name? Well, because he's not talking. Anyways, it's super fun, man. It's real good. We played a good 10 games of that.
Nice.
And it was
is that like
very enjoyable.
Is that like just a standard board game, or was one of your family members like, hey, I know how to play a game?
My brother-in-law brought it. Alan, he's way into, my sister's husband is way into kind of I don't say just board games, indie-ish board games, like the Unsung. He's very much has his finger on the pulse of the new games that are coming out like that, and
sure,
he's the guy that we talked a little bit about last year. What was it? Hana. It's not Hanamura.
No,
that's
where I eat sushi.
Dang it! It was the card game where everybody else sees your cards but you, and they have to talk. They have to talk you around your cards so you can build a hand.
Right, the hand job game.
Kabuki. That's it.
Hand job Kabuki. The card game.
But yeah, Codenames, super cool. Lots of fun. We will be playing some more of that.
That looks cool. That's something that how many people do you need for it?
I think because it's team based, like red team, blue team.
Yeah.
So you could have technically, as many as you want on either team because you're all just talking together.
That might be a fun one for PAX to do on a live stream.
For sure. Yeah. The time we actually do, all our live streams were screwed last year, but yeah, no, it will have it set up fine and it'll work perfect. Yeah. Well,
everything does. Don't worry. PAX 2014.
I also played a bunch of Star Wars Battlefront, the Scarif DLC.
How do you feel about it?
It's real cool. Even having seen the movie, like I can tap into that. This is cool being on Scarif. Like the map looks super cool, and the mode that kind of came out. They did the Death Star DLC pack came with the Battle Station mode.
Battle Station, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's 3 tiered, where you're flying around the Death Star, and then you're fighting on the Death Star, and then you're torpedoing the Death Star. It has this now. It's called Infiltration, which basically just plays out that third act of the movie, like we talked about, where we're getting the plans, and then fighter squadron. We have to get the U-wings through the shield, and then
we
fight on Scarif. There's 2, and then we extract.
And after seeing the movie, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that's true. We played it before you saw the movie. Yeah, it's cool. We should play at least one more time after you having seen the movie, so you can get that out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It won't last very long.
I don't want it. It's already gone.
And then a bunch more Super Mario Run.
Super Mario, it's running.
Have you been still into that?
Yeah, I'm still playing it.
You've completed the world tour.
Mm-hmm. I have.
Are you going back for more coins?
Yeah, I've been going back here and there, and I keep I go back and blow my rally tickets that I are constantly at max. So I kind of am over the. I am a little over the rally thing though. That it's not as fun.
Certainly not.
You and I actually had a conversation over text about this, and I think what I've run into, and it sounds like you did too, is there'll be games when everything goes right where you can run 10, 12 games in a row, and yeah, you may not win all of them, but you're running the thing good, and then it just something happens and the brain shuts off and death first jump every time. like 100,
you did the first
100
hit
in a row
4 times in a row. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's me.
No, because it happens to me all the time. I'll go.
Nothing changes about the level. It's just
you just become a mental defective. like the thought process of like that synapse going from your brain to your thumb just stops for a split second. You're like, yes,
it does. Like you're like the tendon in your thumb just breaks, and then it's just tapping like without reason. It's just like tap tap
and
tap. Tap. No, this isn't working.
I'm like looking at my thumb, thinking move, and it won't. And like,
yeah, no, well, it is, but not to what you're like move, and it's already moved. You're like, no, wait for a little bit before you move again, and then it's still going. You're like, come on,
can't get a hold of it.
I will say, I don't get the criticisms about the actual gameplay. Like, I find it absolutely refreshing. Like
it's solid.
It's solid, like, and the things that they've done around the constraint of being a runner, like you have to move to the right, like it's not something that Mario's technically done before since Super Mario 1, and maybe that's part of it. I guess maybe I'm flashing back to that. Yeah, because I guess it didn't force you to move, and it didn't always have your finger on the run button, but there was no going back. Remember?
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, you didn't get forced forward at any point.
No, but you couldn't go back. Anyways,
yeah.
But what they do with that, I think, is completely compelling. Like, in each world is a new thing. Like, they have ones where it becomes completely vertical. Like, you can only run to the right in so much before you do a wall jump, and then you're running left again. And it's the width of the level is only the width of the screen, so you're just going back and forth like that, working your way up the level. It's super cool. Like, reinvents it again and makes it new. Like,
it's not super cool. It's Super Mario.
Cool, Super Coolio Brothers.
Man,
maybe
that would be awesome if it was Coolio.
Mm-hmm.
Super Coolio.
But yeah, so I don't. Toad Rally, I can get the criticisms. Like, I've somehow still got into it, like building up my toads to unlock buildings to put on the map.
Building up your toad.
I'm still enjoying that. Somehow,
yeah,
I could see how people wouldn't. Like, you're right, the whole ticket thing seems useless too. Like, I'm always maxed out. I don't get how that's constraining anything, honestly. So it's kind of like, why is it there? Which I guess has technically been the coin system in every Mario game for the past 20 years or so.
Right. Yeah, and I'm doing the rally thing for the same reason. It's fun to build the stuff, but I'm not putting any real time or effort into it. Whereas with the rally or the world mode, world tour, yeah, I put in the time. I'm going back on that one. Those are fun. My biggest complaint about the game is, for $10, I would have liked more in regards to the world tour.
More content.
It's like the levels aren't terribly long, so it's a little light, and especially when Nintendo's main crux for selling it is we don't want it to be pirated along with the online thing. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I'm fine
it's
with
premium price. Like, there's no way around that. It's obviously more expensive, than.
Yeah, and I'm fine with having.
But
paid
it's also better, than I think.
I'm fine. I'm not complaining that I paid $10 and I feel ripped off. All I'm saying is that I think that if I had to have a complaint about it that was, I think, valid, It's that there is, to me, a lack of content that's actually worthwhile content. Although, I guess on the other hand, I should say, when you go back to do the coins, the levels change slightly. They're not exactly the same. So
yeah, and I'm using Toad Rally as kind of a distraction from that. Like I'm only through the first 3 worlds, I think, but I've got all the coins on each one, and I'll kind of like I'm burning through them almost too much. Like so, I'll go do Toad Rally for a while. So I don't want World Tour to be over just yet. Honestly.
And that's what I ran into, was like I wanted to finish it because I did want to finish it. But, I just wish there was more to it. So maybe that's the complaint. The complaint isn't so much that there's not enough. It's just that I want more of the World Tour, not Toad Rally.
I hope they release more World Tour, like as an update at some point. They've already released more to, I guess it's not really Toad Rally. It's called a Friendly Run. I guess some people were complaining about how Toad Rally, there's no like actual, you can't run against your friends straight up, which is one of the things I was looking for too. Like when we first got the game, I'm like, okay, how do I straight up challenge you? And you will show up in Toad Rally sometimes, and I've only beat you once out of like the 3 times you showed up. So good job, Ghost Matt.
You're not gonna beat me, man. I'm really really bad. Good.
But now you can apparently just choose your friends somewhere and play against them. I haven't done it yet. We should have done it yet. It probably doesn't take very long.
It's harder than you'd expect it to be. Let's do it right now.
No.
Oh. All right, fine. So, this is something I forgot to mention about Christmas and has a nice, this will kind of dovetail into all of this.
Okay, all right.
So, one of the things that I bought Beth for Christmas is I bought her a sketch pad. She's been knitting a lot lately, and one of the things that she wanted for knitting happened to be graph paper. So we went out and bought a bunch of graph paper, and I went and rehooked up my Nintendo, which had been disconnected for some time, and I bought some graph paper as well.
Nintendo
my Wii U.
We just went to 3 consoles right there.
Yeah,
it's like NES. He hooked up his NES. Oh, he hooked up his Wii.
You got
Wii U.
Look, God, roller coaster of emotions here.
Yeah, you're telling me.
So we bought graph paper. She bought it for knitting stuff, and I bought it because I want to do some Mario Maker stuff. And it just so happened that there was an article recently on Kotaku about Zelda. And they had a bunch of the pictures of the artwork that Miyamoto and various other people that had worked on the game did, in the same respect that we had talked about like a year ago with Mario, where they had Miyamoto, they posted a bunch of pictures of the graph paper that they used for the Mario levels.
There's a video out there, Miyamoto talking about it and kind of handling the paper a little bit.
Yeah, and they did the same thing for Zelda, and it was really, really cool because I never considered it again that the graph paper idea would be, I guess, as widespread as it was, because it makes perfect sense from the most base level of game design. Why do it all on a computer when you have perfectly spaced out paper right there in front of you where you can do exactly what you need to do? It's pixeled. I'm
sure this was the better way to do it than the game making back in the day. Like, I don't know how much Mario Maker like tools there were, right? There was no like drag and drop around and create it that. Like, this was the way. But yeah, it's great. It's my current desktop. This big overworld map of Zelda. Go check it out. Basically, that's it. Just go check it out.
The one that I downloaded, the one that I kept as a background was the one that Miyamoto actually did of the dungeon that he colored in.
Yeah,
I love that. Very cool.
It's cool. Also, I guess along these same, and we'll just keep going. Nintendo lines is Double Dragon 4 has been announced for 2017.
Oddly enough, not coming to a Nintendo console.
So it's kind of Nintendo related.
Yeah, it's pretty much there. I mean, I would say the PlayStation 4 and a PC or Steam is basically Nintendo.
And this is with the original development staff from the arcade version of Double Dragon.
Yes.
So it's like about as legit as an actual sequel can
Dude,
get.
and
I think, so
it's like pixelated and everything. Like it looks like a like 16-bit game or an 8-bit game, I guess.
No, there's whatever. I don't know.
They
There's
read
bits in it.
It looks like it's bitted. They bit into it, and there are bytes. There's also they redid the music for it. I'm not gonna lie. I really, 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 really hope this has online multiplayer, online co-op, because if it does, you and I are gonna play some Double Dragon, sir.
Sure. No, it's about time. Like if you,
I did love Double Dragon.
No, for sure. Yeah, like think about these old properties that have kind of been wrung out at this point. Like it's time for Double Dragon.
The only thing that could make this better is if they got the guy who hosts Iron Chef America, Scott Wolf, and Alyssa Milano to come back and do voices for this. That'd be the best. They were all in the Double Dragon movie.
That's what movie I'm gonna watch this week.
It's if you've never seen it, it is tremendous. Like it is so freaking weird, and they do this awesome makeup for a Bobo, and it's great. And his name is a Bobo.
A Bobo.
A Bobo. I used to love
one of the best names in all of video games.
A Bobo.
Next up, Frog Fractions 2 was found. Have you ever been? Did you ever play Frog Fractions 1?
I did.
Frog Fraction.
I have played Frog Fractions, in fact.
So unsurprisingly, then, Frog Fractions 2 has been, I guess, this ARG for going on 2 years-ish of people just searching and trying to figure out. I guess there's an actual group too called Game Detectives, the ones that actually discovered it. But there's been like these hieroglyphs in like different games that are like years old. Some of them updated to carry these then hieroglyphs. I don't know. I haven't looked up the whole story because it's as insane as you would expect having played Frog Fractions 1. But the end all being, it has been discovered inside of a game called Glitterbitten Grove, which came out, I think, December. I think it came out this month.
Also, Glittermitten Grove is going to be the name of the compound I build.
Fair. So yeah, that's
Glitty Mitty.
A headline if ever there was one. Frog Fractions 2 is out there.
It's so funny to me. I don't understand why there's anybody it's definitely one of those weird things where somebody was like, "Oh man, I'm totally getting into this, and I'm gonna get my idiot friends into it, and we're gonna make it a whole thing," because it's totally dumb. Like, have you played Frog Fractions?
No.
You can do it on your Mac.
Have I? Maybe I have. That's the thing.
What fraction of truth are you telling me?
The frog.
Frog.
Yeah.
That was good.
And last but also least, don't give any money to Unsung Story for now, if ever.
Yeah, what is the name? Playtech?
Playtech? No.
Those are tampons.
Playdeck.
Play. I was thinking of tampons.
Aren't you always?
I like healthy.
It's like a Final Fantasy Tactics spiritual successor. Done by the designer of that, I guess, but maybe that's the problem. Who knows how much Playdeck was able to actually set this up before launching their Kickstarter and making $660,000, but everybody's upset because it's now apparently not what anybody signed up for. Everybody wants a refund, and this is like several years after the fact anyways, so just getting the name out there. And now don't give them any money.
And the highlight now is that Playdeck coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're funded again, so we can make the game." Wait, didn't we Kickstart fund that? No.
But then it's not the game.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
That Kickstarter's dead, and your money is gone. But we're funded, and this game's coming out.
Don't just forget about that.
Look over here while I punch you in the head.
Misdirection. Why did you hit me?
If I didn't hit you, how would you know it was time for the lightning round?
All right, here goes. Rafajiga, what to give up?
Hold on, the bay one day,
And Papa Tiki. And Forza Motorsport 7 has been accidentally announced by whatever dude is making the racing wheel for it.
Way to turn on your developers.
And there it is. The lightning round. Wow.
I
tell
did
you which
not,
one of those made more sense and was more worthwhile.
I did not get any games for Christmas, so in that respect, I am going to buy myself a game for Christmas.
Okay.
But for this week, I will be playing The Witcher. I will also be playing more Overwatch and some more Heart of the Storm. I want to get the Oni skin, so I got to finish that out. I've only got a few more days.
Oni?
It's the Genji skin that you can only get by playing Heart of the Storm.
All right. I'll never see it.
You'll see it. You'll actually see it. You have seen the skin. You'll just never get it.
Fair. I did finally finish Record, so I probably will be getting into Forza Horizon 3 like I was hoping to do last week. Whatever. Also, Pokemon Go has released the thing for the watch. So Pokemon Go on Apple Watch is now a thing.
Yeah, I got the message for that, and I distinctly decided to erase it.
Didn't you? Right, sure. I'll probably give that a try. And something else, man. Hey, we're going to do a special podcast for the end of the year here. It's our thing we've done. We pick 5 of our favorite games. It's the 0 Hit Points favorite 5.
We're the fast
Probably.
5.
We could call it that.
It's 0 Hit Points, fast 5 and furiously.
So if you want to find out why I don't play as many games as I want to, check that out. That'll be out tomorrow, actually.
Because we can only talk about 5. We can only pick 5 games, and he only plays 2. So he only has a top 1.
It's going to be a fun one. Making 5 games out of 2. Come check it out. It will be out tomorrow, though. I promise. It's no way around it.
Okay.
So we could say our yearly goodbyes on this cast or the next. What do you think?
I say we say goodbye on both.
Okay.
Happy everything. I hope your world is 2016 and 2017 because we all deserve it.